My guest for today is Aunty June. What product or service do you offer your customers?
Well, I so love putting it this way. The product that I offer is theatre. Theatre and now traditional masquerade. The services I offer, the development and training of youngsters in performance, on stage and on the street.
When did you begin your journey in the performing arts?
I must have been 7 years old. And my journey actually began with dance. That was my first love. My parents had me dancing from the age of 7. And at school at the time, at infant and primary school, we used to do little plays and performances. And I think my love for the performing arts grew from that time, from the age of 7. And I never stopped. Every summer was something, and every time there was anything going on, we were performing in it. It was more casual and more informal in those days when I was growing up. So it was amazing. I mean, and every time I think of how I grew into the performing arts, I'm very thankful to my parents.
When did you realize this was a service you wanted to do over anything else?
Well, I think it was when I started teaching. I started teaching, I'll give away my age if I tell you, Liam, when I started teaching. But when I started teaching, I realized that the kids needed to have something more than sitting in a classroom. And I tried to bring everything that I knew about the arts into the classroom. So like, for instance, I taught West Indian history, and then I taught British history, and the kids didn't like British history. So what I did was I created like a calypso competition where I would let them choose the part of the history that was giving them the most trouble. They had to research it and they had to sing a calypso, because I figured in the research they would learn, and with the performing they would remember. So I think it is from that time on I realized that I really wanted to get into this. But also when I came back to St. Lucia after being away for 12 years, I realized that there was no television program on our local stations for children. And I had this dream about doing a local television program for children by children. So I created something, and it was out of that, I think, I veered into the performing arts. And I wanted to always create an avenue for young people to learn from each other and to learn through performance.
Were you ever scared of this venture failing?
No, actually I never thought about failure. My thing was I wanted to do something. I felt it needed to be done, and I just went ahead and did it. I mean, it's very difficult here getting stuff done in the arts, because it's only now that people are seeing the need to financially support the arts. But while I was doing it, no, I just pulled all the resources that I could together, and I just did what I had to do, and I'm still operating like that up to this day.
What do you like about this industry?
This industry is just providing such a great avenue to occupy young people, and also to provide them, for me, it provides them with a stage, something to develop their skills and an opportunity to showcase their skills. I love the energy of the young people. I love the enthusiasm about learning new stuff. I just love that they can actually come together and in a positive kind of manner to perform. What I don't like about the industry, however, is that there is a tendency for the young people not to want to dedicate their time. And with the performing arts, you have to dedicate your time or else you are not going to be successful. And there are so many distractions out there that some of them get very confused about what they want to do and what they don't want to do. And sometimes they are not committed enough to the performing arts to make it successful. The other thing I don't like about the industry is that we always fighting to get money for it. It's something that years ago when I was growing up, there was a big performing arts industry here, and then everybody went away and it left a void. But we are very slow now to support, although I must say over the last few years the support has been forthcoming. It's now forthcoming more for the traditional masquerade than for the stage theatre, but it's still growing, and that's one of the things I'm living in hope that it will continue to grow.
Have you ever heard about the 10,000-hour rule?
Yes, I've heard about it, but could you explain it a little more?
It means to become a master at anything, you have to invest 10,000 hours into the specific field. Do you ever get bored of teaching performing arts?
The thing is, I don't really teach. I facilitate people to teach others. That's what I do. And I'm always looking for new ways. I'm always looking for new exciting things to do. So, and then I have a mantra: only boring people get bored. And I'm not a boring person. So I always find something interesting in whatever I'm doing for the performing arts. Actually, I think it is a very exciting industry to be in.
What do you think is the biggest challenge of the performing arts industry?
I basically think it is that the present generation is an instant gratification generation, and it is very difficult for them to understand that you need to work at something for a while in order to become best at it. And for a lot of them, they do not want to invest the time. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges. The other big challenge for me that holds equal importance is the lack of spaces, the lack of rehearsal spaces, the lack of performing spaces that are affordable. I think that is one of the biggest things that we have been fighting with for over 40-something years. And these are the two main challenges of the performing arts industry.
What advice do you have for a young person that wants to pursue performing arts?
The advice I would give them is simply this: you need to make up your mind what exactly it is you want to do. If you make a decision that you want to excel, you want to develop your skills, you want to perform, then you have to allot the time and the energy into doing this. It has to become a priority in your life. That's one of the things that we must do if you have to be in the performing arts. The performing arts is not easy either. There are not very many opportunities in St. Lucia, but there are opportunities outside of St. Lucia, and we must also think about broadening our perspectives to be outside of St. Lucia sometimes for the training. Once you are prepared to sacrifice your time and to do what you have to do to become the best performer ever, then you will not have a problem. If it's something you think you just want to come and do now and go, it's not going to work because it is something that needs your time.
Are there any institutions that you know of that are performing overseas?
Oh yes, there are quite a few, and I'm happy to say there are at least two that I know of three who came through Youth in Arts. One of them is now a writer and director. He is Kivon, and he has just done at least 2 films which have been widely accepted. And as far as I know, he's coming to do a 3rd one. There's Shaquem Goddard, who also is into the arts in a big way. And my daughter, who was in Lion King on Broadway in London for almost 9 years. And 1 or 2 of the dancers that she danced with, one has her own company in the US, and another one continues to dance. So, I mean, and I'm sure there are many more that I may not know of who are doing it, but one of the things, I mean, and if I may say so, we have the butler from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He is St. Lucian. I mean, there is stuff out there that you can do, but you really have to work at it. I remember my daughter telling me how she had to prepare herself for her auditions. It's a lot of work, and once you think that you can put the work into it and you push yourself, you can do anything you want to do. Yeah.
How do you think theatre has evolved in the past 10 years, and how do you think it's going to evolve in the future?
Oh, I think over the past 10 years, it is really growing. I mean, we now seeing a lot of theatre performances. We are seeing a lot of, one of the things that has really helped is the fact that a lot of the schools are now offering CXC, theatre arts. So, I mean, and then they offer it also at Arthur Lewis Community College. So that has really helped, and we are finding now that there are a lot of little companies around the place that are now really producing their own stuff. There are those who are getting into much more than just stage performances. They want to do film, and I think in the future we are going to see a group of youngsters who really take St. Lucia forward in terms of the performing arts. But I think over the past 10 years it has grown, and it is continuing to grow.
Do you use AI to help with the development of theatre?
Well, Liam, that's a very good question. I am trying to understand the concept of AI. I know people use it to write scripts. I am from old school. I think a lot of it, I'm not sure, I might be totally wrong. I think AI is going to take away a lot of the creativity from individuals, because I don't know if it's going to improve later, but my understanding of it, there will be a lot more stuff written, there will be a lot more stuff used, but I pray that it just does not compromise the individual's creativity. Because if you're getting AI to write stuff that is similar about everything, to me it's going to kill the creativity. But then I'm from old school, I might be totally wrong, and maybe I might have to come to you for some lessons in how I could use AI in theatre. Okay, let me try and see what this AI thing will do. So I wrote my stuff, and wow. And it gave me all this highfalutin stuff, and I'm saying, oh my goodness, I could be known as a fantastic writer. But somehow it took away the soul of what I was trying to say. And I don't know if I really like that.
To express who you are.
Yes.
And your own story.
Yeah. That's what frightens me. That when I use AI, it doesn't have my story. It has a story that is artificially written, if you understand what I'm saying. But then again, there might be ways of using it to bring out the best in something, you know. I don't like to cry down modern technology. I'm all for learning about it, and I just think I don't know enough about it. So, lessons. Coming to you for lessons. One day, for instance, I asked one of my cast, I said, one of my team, I said, could you please write a short story on this particular thing that we wanted to do? And when I got it, I'm saying, but I didn't realize that you had such talent. Where were you hiding that all the time? And one of the other kids went, Aunty June, that was AI. And I mean, it was then I realized I don't know enough about AI. I really don't know. Okay, so you have to teach me, Liam.
If there's one piece of advice that you give to your younger self, what would it be?
I don't know. It might be that maybe when I went to university, I should have really done more of my best. I did not want to go to university. I wanted to be a dancer. And my dear dad, in his wisdom, said to me, okay, I don't have a problem with you wanting to be a dancer, but if you break your leg tomorrow, you need to have something to fall back on. He used to tell me that all the time. And what I should have done was to take it and do the best that I could, but I really did not do the best that I could have at university. I knew I was capable of doing a lot more. And one piece of advice I would have given to myself is take it and do your best. But I guess it was a kind of little rebellion kind of thingy that I didn't really want to go to university, but I was going because he figured it was the right thing to do. And I would just tell myself, do your best.
Why did you agree to do this interview?
Because I would do anything for Liam, anything at all. And I also think when I heard what the interview was about, I just thought that I would be able to share some stuff that youngsters could use. So that was my two main reasons, because it was you and because I thought I could share my information.
Thank you for being a part of this series.
And thank you for asking me. It was my pleasure. Thank you.